Hello, welcome to Info Hub. In our headlines, opposition PPP filibusters in an attempt to stall SARA implementation. CNS Channel 6 supports the Broadcasting Amendment Bill, the new Code of Conduct to hold public officials to an advanced standard, and President Granger opens new magistrates court in Linden. These stories and more when we return. Daddy! Thanks for staying with us. The opposition PPP attempted to use this afternoon's sitting of the National Assembly to filibuster requests for supplementary funds to operationalize the State Asset Recovery Agency. Opposition members of Parliament were incessant in their line of granular questioning, often repeating questions and asking the same questions in several different ways. Progress was, however, made on several fronts after a tense period when the format the request was being made in was also queried. Former Speaker and government frontbencher Raphael Trotman explained that there was clear precedent in the National Assembly for the format, and this was agreed to by the Speaker, Dr. Barton Scotland. The matter proceeded despite protestation by the opposition. Attorney General Basil Williams patiently responded to the repetitive questions from several opposition members until the break was taken sometime after 4 p.m.
Mr. Speaker, as I said, this item relates to SARA, which we're trying to operationalize. And without these items, the agency is virtually paralyzed. I will not be able to execute its legal mandate. I reiterate that without these vehicles, SARA would be hard-pressed to execute its mandate.
This is a supplementary paper amending the original budget. So it doesn't have to have a previous budget line item or whatever. That is the reason why we have brought a supplementary paper, to avoid any doubt. And supplementary papers, up to 5 of them, can be brought in a year, amending budgets, adding to budgets, subtracting to budgets as it may occur.
The session will continue this evening, and we will have a detailed report in tomorrow's edition. Contrary to some media reports, CNS Channel 6 supports the Broadcasting Amendment Bill. Gabriella Patram tells us more.
Managing Director of CNS Channel 6, Savitri Singh Sharma, said that her TV station does not have any issue with the bill.
We have no problem with the amendments because we as Channel 6, we've been giving government time from the inception of our station. We have been given government, and not only government, but the opposition and the other political parties, we have offered time, free time to them. The other thing I'd like to clarify is the government is asking us once again to reapply for television stations and so on within 30 days. Now, if we look at it, in the past, under the PPP administration, Ms. Shadiq had us reapplying and reapplying and reapplying all the time. And sometimes I even suspected that our applications were screwed up and thrown in the wastebasket. So if this government asks us once again to reapply so that they could, what you would say, regularize the system, I don't have a problem, and I know that Channel 6 will not have a problem.
It was explained that the company was in support of a request for an audience with Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu for discussion. However, media reports this morning misrepresented the company's intentions.
I signed a letter asking for an audience with the Prime Minister and nothing else. I have not given my opinion on the broadcast bill and the amendments. I did not state that I'm for or against it. All I did was to sign a letter asking for an audience with the Prime Minister.
The Broadcasting Amendment Bill 2017 was read for the first time by First Vice President and Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu on July 27, 2017. Gabriella Patram for DPI Info Hub.
Region 10 residents now have access to a brand new magistrates court as President David Granger officially commissioned the Upper Demerara Magisterial District Court today in Linden. Here's Neil Williams with this report.
The Magistrates Court constitutes the first tier of Guyana's justice system. It serves as an important link between citizens and the judiciary through the services they provide. President David Granger said,
The establishment of Guyana's 10th magisterial district, therefore, is a manifestation that judicial independence exists in the state of Guyana.
The court's establishment enhances access to justice. The head of state reiterated that this is essential for human safety, public security, and in having a stronger economy.
Access to justice is difficult to achieve for the majority of the region's 50,000 residents. The constitution of this magisterial district, therefore, is of transcendental significance for public administration. This morning, the state has taken a small step to abandon the archaic colonial system of counties which existed from time immemorial and to adopt a rational system of regional administration. This magisterial district will remove the need for residents of Linden, Aichuni, and Kokwani to travel to Vredenhoop in the Essequibo Islands, West Demerara region, and to New Amsterdam in the East Berbice Quarantine region to obtain services which ought to be provided by the magistracy.
According to President Granger, the court will provide justice in a timelier and less costly manner. Zenil Williams for InfoHub.
The new code of conduct for public officials is to hold them to a higher standard. Paul McAdam spoke to Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu about this issue.
Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu noted that whilst there is a code of conduct in the law, it is one that needs to be reformed, reviewed, and restructured. The revised code of conduct was formulated under the Nolan principle.
10 higher standards, principles, like accountability, loyalty to the state, honesty, morality, conflict of interest, that if you were a minister or a member of parliament or some person in other higher office, you have to decide whether you should seek outside employment. And if you sought that outside employment, you're having two jobs, of course, you have to see if that constitutes a conflict of interest.
Officials will be permitted to accept gifts up to a certain value from a family member, friend, or those that have symbolic value.
It is not saying you shouldn't accept a gift. It is you must not accept a gift in such a way as it compromises what you do, that it is given to you as an inducement, as a kind of a bribe to get something done for somebody or your family, or not to do something that you ought to do.
With no chairman since 2006 after the previous appointee opted out of the post, President David Granger will soon move to appoint new members to the Integrity Commission.
It is a conscious effort by a government. We may not get everything clean. We may not be able to get everything right. We may not be able to get everyone clean. But don't fault us for the attempt to change the way Guyana is perceived in the society at large and in the world.
Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
A botched tree trimming and a burnt jumper are among the reasons for the blackouts this week. Here is more from Renetta Lafleur.
On Sunday, we had just about 3 megawatts of reserve capacity at a time when our demand was about 84 megawatts, and of course our available generation was about 87 megawatts. There were a couple of machines that were out. On Monday, we had a report of a burnt jumper on one of our feeders coming out of Kingston. On Wednesday morning, just about 8:45, we experienced a disturbance. That was a result of a tree trimming exercise that was taking place at the Atlantic Hotel Inc. on Battery Road.
In these instances, the power company immediately worked to restore normalcy. On the Essequibo coast, it was explained that on August 1st, the Wartzilla engine experienced a fault.
We literally lost just over 2 megawatts of available capacity. So what we had to do for the duration of that day was to effect a load shedding schedule between Anna Regina and Charity. So there were some villages between Anna Regina and Charity that received electricity for approximately 12 hours, and then, of course, the other villages that were out at that point in time, then received for the other 12 hours.
The acting CEO apologized for the inconvenience. He is urging citizens to be careful when carrying out exercises close to GPL's network. Renetta LaFleur for InfoHub.
The inaugural Bartek 4x4 safari, which was launched today and runs from August 18 to 20, will allow participants to view some of the country's beautiful scenery. Gabriela Patram joins us once again.
The new route will pass through regions 4, 5, 7, and 10. Director of the Guyana Tourism Authority, Indranath Hallow Singh, described the safari as 3 days of adventure.
We are very committed to promoting and encouraging responsible, affordable adventure travel, outdoor recreation, and short getaways. It is very important for us to develop and create new routes, new tourism products and attractions.
One of the aims of this year's safari will be focused on educating participants about the historical sites along the route. Representative from the Pacaraima Mountain Safari and Rainforest Tours, Lisa Smith, identified some of the places that the safari will cover.
We'll be seeing the Linden Museum of Social Culture, Heritage, the large iron Christianberg water wheel. Of course, we'll see the venue where the Rockstone Fish Festival is being held yearly, the Baracara Falls and the Marshall Falls. So for this year's safari to Bartica, we're focusing on Guyanese. We want to allow Guyanese to not just experience adventure nature, but also to learn about the history of Linden, Bartica, and be involved in cultural exchange.
Gabriela Patram, InfoHub.
Thanks for watching. Connect with us 24/7 on our website and social media. Goodbye.